Today I'm going to be doing my February wrap up. In February I read 22 books, which means I completed my goal of reading 50 books on Goodreads. I typically set my reading goals like at 50 because I know I can complete it soon, like fast, but even if I don't, that's still maybe a book every week. So it's a pretty good goal to reach. So even if I'm in a reading slump, I know I can still reach that goal. So I happily completed it in February, which is fast because last year I completed my reading goal in April. I don't really think I gave anything 5 stars. I have this spreadsheet set up and it's very informative. I read 10,209 pages this month. And actually, I read 23 books and not 22. So first I read Ninth House, which this is a reread for me. I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. Absolutely love Ninth House. I try to reread at least 2 books a month, one of my favorite books and then one graphic novel. But if I read more than that, that's fine. I love rereading books mainly to annotate them. I only annotate when I do rereads just because I'll never know if I like a book or not. And for me personally, it's very likely that I will not like a book more than it is that I do like a book, which is why I only annotate during my reread so I know that I love a book. I can do an updated annotating video if you guys would like to see that. I feel like in all my videos, I'm like, I can do this video and I can do that video, and everyone's like, yeah, I want to see it, and I'm like, and I have a video on why you should read this book up on my channel, so you guys should definitely check that out. The next book I read was Nevernight, which I gave 2 out of 5 stars. I did not like this book, and in that video I said I was going to continue it, but Jay Kristoff recently on Twitter just did some things that I didn't like. So it's nothing problematic. I'm not canceling him or anything like that, because even when I'm I don't want to buy from this author anymore, people are like, oh my gosh, are you canceling him? I'm not canceling Jay Kristoff. I personally didn't like Nevernight. I did not like Aurora Rising, and I didn't like Illuminated, so I feel like there's no reason for me to continue reading his books. So I am going to be giving away my books. The next book I read in February was The Sun Is Also a Star. I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. I absolutely loved it. I read this because I seen Chanel and Cindy's video of them reading The Sun Is Also a Star, and I was like, the movie looked so cute. I haven't seen the movie yet still because I just haven't been prepared to cry, but I was like, the movie seems so cute. I want to check it out. So I read the book, planning on watching the movie, but I never got to it. But this book was so cute. I know that they fall in love kind of fast. This book's about this Jamaican girl and this Asian guy, and they meet one day and they spend the entire day together, and he wants to see if he can make her fall in love in one day. And I don't really like insta love, but I think this one literally kind of convinced me that insta love could be real. This convinced me that if done right, insta love is amazing and it's completely understandable, and I get it, but only if it's written right. Not just they're gonna be in love, love at first sight. I believe in love at first sight because I fall in love literally every time I see a guy, but also at the same time I get it 5 out of 5 stars. I loved it. The next book I read was Birthday Girl by Penelope Douglas. I gave Birthday Girl 3 out of 5 stars, I think. Mika just kept hyping it up oh my gosh, you're gonna love it. It's gonna be so good. You're just gonna you're gonna absolutely love it. It's gonna be your favorite. She wasn't really like that, but when it comes to books, I tend to not trust Mika. We have 2 completely different tastes, and Birthday Girl wasn't a bad book. I think that Credence is my favorite Penelope Douglas book. That is a book I love by her, and I feel like Birthday Girl just didn't really live up to what Credence was for me. Birthday Girl was a very cute story, but Credence was very taboo, I think, and that's why I loved it. Birthday Girl was very cute and wholesome, and I'm all up for those. I don't know, there was some things about Birthday Girl that I just did not care about. I read basically all of Cassandra Clare's books this month, by the way, so the next couple of books you're gonna see are all Cassandra Clare books. I'm just gonna warn you that now. So I read City of Glass, which I gave 3 out of 5 stars. I read City of Fallen Angels, which I gave 2 out of 5 stars. City of Lost Souls, 3 out of 5 stars. City of Heavenly Fire, 5 out of 5 stars. City of Heavenly Fire is that girl. That is my City of Heavenly Fire was what really made this series for me, because throughout reading this entire series I was am I gonna like these books? I'm not really enjoying them right now. I didn't show these in the order that I read them, but I read the Clockwork. I read the Infernal Devices before I read this, and so I didn't really like. I was like, I didn't really care about those books, as you'll see later on when I talk about those. So when I was reading Symphony of Hell and Fire, like when I was reading the other books, I was like, oh my gosh, like, am I not gonna like Cassandra Clare? I bought all of her books. Like, she has a whole shelf dedicated to her. Like, it would be very upsetting if I read all these books and I don't like them. Then I got to Symphony of Hell and Fire, and I was like, she is that girl. She's that one, never that two. Like, this book was so good to me, and I didn't think it was gonna like be good, because I know some books are like I feel like a lot of the books in the series didn't age well. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Not like it was mentioning like pop culture references or anything, but you know, there are some books that are written in 2012 that are read as they were written in 2012, whereas this book was so good, and I was so happy because I was so scared that I wasn't gonna like any of the books in this series. So I read this book called Plus One, and I read it because Mina from Mina Reads said that the author name is Christina C. Jones. She said that the author like based this book off this experience she had. I'll link Mina's video down below because it was actually a really cute like video, and it's like a really cute story. Like, I really wish that like something more had happened with Mina, because that would just been like the ultimate like love story and like the cutest love story ever. I basically read it because I was like, this would be such a cute like story, and I read it, and I personally just didn't really vibe with it. I didn't really like the writing, so I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. Like, it was still cute, but I don't really like the writing. So yeah, I also read, as I said earlier, I read the Infernal Devices. So I read City. You can read these. I read these. I did a video on them, but I removed my videos because they weren't doing well and they were taking down my watch time. And literally after I removed them, my watch time went back up. So I then read Tales of the Shadowhunter Academy, which I gave 3 out of 5 stars because I didn't really care about this. I liked following Simon and all of that, but I didn't really care. This book is important to read, like 2 stories. If you want to just read the new book that's coming out. If you want to read Chain of Gold, then I would say read the Infernal Devices and just read 2 stories in these and then 2 stories in the Shadowhunter market, and then you'll be good. I'm gonna upload a vlog for Chain of Gold, so if you want to know what books to read before you start Chain of Gold, I'm going to talk about that in my vlog coming next week, so stay tuned. Actually, when I upload this, the vlog should be coming up like maybe 3 or 4 days after this video, so actually, yeah. Then I read the Dark Artifices. So I read Queen of Air and Darkness. Well, no, I read Lady Midnight, Lord of Shadows, Queen of Air and Darkness. I forgot to talk about my rating for the Infernal Devices. Anyways, I gave the first book 4 stars, second book 3 stars, third book 4 stars. Overall, I think I would give the series a 3 star. I think for the Mortal Instruments overall, I think I would give that 3 stars. And then for the Dark Artifices, I think I will overall give this 4 stars. I gave Lady Midnight 5 stars, Lord of Shadows and Queen of Air and Darkness 4.5 stars. I love the characters in this book, and I love the Blackthorns, as I should. I think that if I could be a part of like any family in the Shadowhunter Chronicles, I would be a part of the Blackthorn family, just because I have a big family, so I know what it's like to have like a lot of siblings and all that, and I just love them. Like, they're such a good family, and I love their personalities, and I feel like I will fit in perfectly with them. So yeah, I really love this series, but Queen of Air and Darkness was just very underwhelming to me. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, it's like the plot twist in the end was good, and I think about like the plot twist in it. Like, I can say Cassandra Clare and her plot twist, girl really does a great job when it comes to her plot twist, but I don't know. Yeah, so next book I read was Gravity Falls, which is a reread for me, 5 out of 5 stars. If you didn't know, my 2 favorite things in this world is Gravity Falls and Coraline. Absolutely obsessed with the both of them. And so I reread this book because I was due for a reread. I haven't read this book since I got it in 2018. And usually I'm always rereading graphic novels. Like, the graphic novels that I own are the ones that I'm always reading. Also read this month Emergency Contact, which I gave 3 out of 5 stars. I was going to give it 4 out of 5 stars, but I just felt like it was very underwhelming, and it was cute, but I wasn't really looking for like that kind of cute, I guess. Like, I don't know. I was looking for more angst, and this book just didn't have all of it, but it wasn't a bad book at all. Like, it wasn't, I mean, like, there were some lines that had me like, ugh, you know, but it wasn't like a bad book. my sister absolutely loves this book, and I understand why. Like, it's such a cute book. The next book I read was this is a Gathering of Shadows, but I read A Darker Shade of Magic. We're just gonna pretend like it's A Darker Shade of Magic, okay? I read that. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. Like, there was something about the books that weren't like. I feel like in this video I wasn't really explaining what books are about, which I'm sorry. Like, I read like a lot of popular books, so I feel like I didn't really have to explain what they're about. So I'm very sorry about that. But A Darker Shade of Magic, like, it's basically about this guy. There's 4 Londons, and he can travel through all 4 Londons. And each London has like, one London has like a lot of magic, one London doesn't, one London, you know, you get the point, okay? So I just didn't really like it. Like, I don't know what it was. I didn't care about Lila. She was such a pick-me. She was such a, I'm not like other girls. And I thought that maybe she would develop her character, but reading A Gathering of Shadows, I find that she's still the same. I don't really care about the characters. Like, they're good characters. Like, Kel is cute or whatever. I feel like Lila and Kel are going to get together. And honestly, I would prefer this book without romance, which we never would think I would say because, like, I like romance, but, like, I can also do without romance. And I feel like in this book it definitely it doesn't need any romance. And I feel like if it doesn't have any, I'm going to be happy. But if it does, I'm just going to be like, man, because, like, I don't really care. Like, the book was good. Like, I just can't, I don't know. I don't really think I'm like a big fan of V.E. Schwab because the same thing, I got the same thing with Vicious. Like, I liked Vicious. It was a really good book. I just didn't care about the characters. I just didn't care. And I can't find myself to care now. So, love that for me. I read like a lot of ebooks towards the end of this month. So I read Fake It Till You Break It by Megan Brady, who also wrote The Brayshaw Boys, which I love the first book. I don't really acknowledge the second, third, or whatever other books in the series because I kind of lost the interest in them, if I'm being honest. But the first book is absolutely amazing. So I read Fake It Till You Make It, and I think Fake It Till You Break It, my bad. It's about a fake dating book. This book was so good. I gave it 4.5 out of 5 stars. This book was so good. It's a dark romance. It's about this guy and this girl who, like, used to be friends, and then they got to high school and they stopped being friends, and she has this huge crush on this guy on the football team, and she's, like, kind of popular. Like, she has, like, you know, they all run, like, the same friend group, and she likes him, but he doesn't really pay her any attention. So the guy that they used to be friends with, the guy that she used to be friends with when they were younger, what was his name? His name was Nico. So Nico, he notices this and he forms a plan to fake date her to make him jealous because the guy that she has a crush on tends to like things that aren't his. Things that are typically Nico's. And I really like this book. Like, Nico was very possessive and jealous, and he kept trying to play it off as like, oh, like, I'm your fake boyfriend. Like, fake boyfriends are supposed to, like, he was like, boyfriends are supposed to be like jealous and like possessive, and she was just like, okay. And like, that is literally me. Like, I don't, like, that is so me. Like, a guy could be like, okay, I'm gonna be your fake boyfriend and I'm gonna be like possessive and get jealous when other guys talk to you even though we're not really dating, and I would just be like, thanks. Like, but I didn't give this book 5 stars just because I feel like the end wrapped up way too quickly. Like, there are some things that went down, and I feel like it could have been dragged out a little bit more, and like, it just didn't end like I thought it would. And then I also read The Shadows Between Us, which I gave 2 out of 5 stars. This book has been really hyped and really talked about. It was written by Trisha Levenseller. I read the Daughter of the Pirate King by her, and I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. I read The Warrior of the Wild, and I gave that 2 out of 5 stars as well. I knew that The Shadows Between Us was going to be trash when I opened the book and it was a TVD quote and not a good one. You guys may be saying, Mayana, don't you love The Vampire Diaries? Yes, it is my favorite show of all time. But I know that that show is absolutely trash. And if any author quotes that show in their book, I am not going to want to pick it up because it was like, why? I feel like the character was very try-hard. My sister read this. She gave it 2 out of 5 stars. Granted, my sister hates more than I hate. Mika read this. I think she gave it 3. I don't know if she finished it. I don't know what sis gave it, to be honest. I think she gave it 3 out of 5 stars. But yeah, I just felt like the main character was very try hard to be Jude Duarte from The Cruel Prince, and you know how I feel about my girl Jude. She is my queen, and nobody could beat her. The main character Alessandra was very much a Walmart Jude. She wanted to be her so bad. The beginning of the book literally starts off with the author like telling us that she killed her boyfriend, and like we're supposed to be like, oh my gosh, like she's such a baddie. But I felt like the book would have been better if the main character showed us killing her boyfriend instead of giving like, I killed my ex-boyfriend. Like if they would have started off with like the main character being like, I dragged his body through the woods, like that would have been good. Girl, Trisha, let me write this book for you. Let me just take it back. Just take it back. Just take it back. Let me write the first chapter for you, and you will be good. But it also wasn't just the first chapter. Like she was very much like, I'm not like other girls. Like when they were going, basically the point of the story was she had like to woo the king to kill him, and then I don't even remember what the third one was. So basically, what her point was, she wanted to get his attention and then kill him and basically take over his land. And so how she like, there's like this dance that he has, and she's like, all of the other girls are wearing green because that's his favorite color, but I'm gonna be different and I'm gonna wear black. And I'm like, okay, do you want a cookie? Do you know what you like? My sister was like, do you know what really would have been baddie if you caught his attention while wearing green? And I'm like, period. I didn't like it. I really wanted to like it. The cover was so beautiful. And then the last two books I read, they weren't really books. They were two novellas in the Tales of the Shadowhunter market. So I read Cast Long Shadows and Every Exquisite Things, which actually was the first two books. And these were the books that you needed to read and like before reading Channel Go. You don't have to read the short stories, but I think it gives you a better idea of the characters. And like, for me, I like reading them because it lets me know, like, okay, I'm gonna stand this character. Like, you know, it's like getting to know the characters before you get to know them. It's like, so if you watch Degrassi, then like the first season of Degrassi is like everybody, like the people, they're like in 8th grade, they're in middle school, and then they go to like high school the next season. And so in the first season, you're getting to like know the characters before they actually go to high school and before they interact with the other kids that are in the high school. You get like the high schoolers in the middle schoolers, but in season 2 you get them both in high school and interact with each other. If that even makes sense. Like, I don't know, my analogies are just very off. Basically, you get to know the characters before they even pop up, so you kind of know like what characters you're gonna stand, like what characters you're gonna ship. Like, you know, you don't get all the characters, you only get some. But I really liked reading the short stories because it lets me get to know the characters a lot more. Like in Tales of the Shadowhunter Academy, there's a character named Matthew, and I did not like him in that book. He was very mean to my baby James Herondale, which I read that and I was like, I stand James Herondale. He is baby. And then when I read Cast Long Shadows, which was about Matthew, I was like, wow, Matthew is also baby, you know? So, and also Alistar is in it, and he's like rude, and I'm like, wow, I love Alistar. He's like mean, and he kind of like picks on them a lot, but I'm like, I love him. I don't care. I'm sorry. We love a good, you know, as long as he's not evil, I don't care. Actually, he could be evil. As long as he doesn't kill my favorite character, I really don't care what Mans does. So it's just like, I really like that, like getting to know the characters before you like actually read them in the book. And it builds up my excitement for the book next Tuesday. Like, I'm so happy for it. And I'm happy that I read those 2 books. I mean, I haven't read the book, so I don't know if the story plot lines actually help, but I think that they do. So there's only 4 short stories that you really need to read, and they're each 50 pages. Like, it will take you, at most, it will take you an hour to read each. Cast Long Shadows was about Matthew, and I forget, the family tree confuses me because it's like, everybody's like, oh, my cousin, uncle this, uncle that, and I forget whose child Matthew is. I believe Matthew is Matthew Fairchild. So, yeah, he's a child of Charlotte and Henry, I believe. And then Every Exquisite Thing is about Anna Lightwood. See, I'm telling you, they all confuse me because I'm like, who's related to who? Like, who kid is this? Whose child is this? Is basically what I'm thinking to myself. They're always like, my cousin. You're trying to figure out, okay, so how was this person not related, but this person? It's very confusing. I will give you that. And reading the short stories kind of help you know like what is what, but like not a lot. So you can also see my stack of books that I read this month here. So yeah. that's it for this video. I hope that you liked it. Please like, comment, subscribe. Tell me how many books you read in February, and what you're looking forward to reading in March. In March, I'm looking forward to reading Chain of Gold and Crescent City. Those are my two most anticipated books this year. So I don't know what I'm going to be anticipating after that. I am anticipating Burning Gods by R.F. Kuang, but I haven't read Dragon Republic because I want to read it closer to when Burning Gods is coming out. That way I don't have to like wait a long time. But anyways, I'm going to stop talking. I don't know how I wrapped up 23 books in as short of the video as I did, but give me a clap on the back because I deserve it. I do. I truly do. But I gotta hold up all these stupid books for my thumbnails, so yeah.